Hey guys, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another issue of Warhammer Mortal Realms magazine. As per usual, before we jump into all of this though guys, if you like these videos, please hit the like button, click on subscribe if you haven't already, and drop me a comment down below because it's always greatly appreciated. And yeah, it genuinely is appreciated, so never think that it isn't. I will try to get back to everybody as soon as I possibly can as well, if you do comment. Now, what have we got with this week's issue? So, this week's issue, 6 more dice. They're going to be needed because we're getting more and more models, and it's worth having them for if you're playing, which definitely worth having. Keep us going. And we've got more Stormcast, so of course you've got your 5 plain black bases, which mine are down on the floor. And not in reach, so I can't bother to grab them. But this week is kind of a repeat issue, so we've already had some of these models before, which this is Beast Brew from the Soul Wars box. So you've got 3 Stormcast Secretors and 2 Castigators to build, play with, exactly the same as you did before, so easily done, not too bad. Into the magazine now, of course, getting ahead of myself here, because of course we're getting Stormcast, so the focus is on Stormhosts. This Stormhost though is the Celestial Vindicators. So the Celestial Vindicators was the 6th Stormhost to be founded. They are known for their intense fury in battle. They chant grim war songs during battle as well, and in the heat of combat, however, their hatred can become a wildfire that cannot be extinguished, consuming them completely. These guys are created just to wreak vengeance against chaos, and they are very, very, very destructive. Very cool looking armor as well, because they have that kind of bluish teal kind of looking armor with gold trim and white shoulder pads and stuff like that. So where you think it might be kind of like an enamel kind of material on things like the shoulder pads, on little crests, certain crests and stuff like that they might be carrying, it should be white. Really, really cool. Definitely a nice looking Stormhost, so definitely worth going for if you haven't chosen your Stormhost colour yet. But yeah, cool. They're pretty decent. You can do it with Stegadon. There, when I can learn to speak. Stegadon green would be the main colour for that, kind of mixed with something like Incubi Darkness, if you wish to do them, and you can lighten it up with some others, kind of teal kind of colours and that kind of like bluish green. These guys are pretty cool as well. They are mainly famed for using swords over hammers, which is a bit difficult with the models because the majority of the models always only come with hammers and not swords, which is a pain in the ass. But it'll be nice to see if there's some conversion kits out there that have mainly swords that can be used for stuff for Stormhosts. Then moving on to the next page, we've got the continuation of A Rise of the Wraiths. So the search for a new Mortarch. So Guz Nagash likes to delegate into commanders, and he needs a new Mortarch to lead the Nighthaunt armies mainly. So he's already got 3 Mortarchs. So your Mortarch of Blood, which is Queen Neferata. She's a vampire, and she is a queen vampire as well, so she's pretty cool. She's pretty from the old world as well, so she's been known in all the stories. So if you play anything like Total War Warhammer, you can play as Neferata. You can also play as Von Carstein family. So Manfred von Carstein is Nagash's Mortarch of Night. He's chief, military commander and schemer. Calls him up and makes a very gory example of enemies, and undertakes some very dangerous missions that require a lot of cunning. Then of course you got Arkan the Black, another necromancer, and another character from the old world. He is the Mortarch of Sacrament, so he is literally Nagashi's number 2. Has his own little plans in the background a lot of the time, but executes pretty much everything on the order of Nagash. So yeah, pretty cool. But this part does go through and show you that there's a new Mortarch. So Lady Alinda. So she's kind of like a cross between Briar Queen and the Myrmorn Banshees and stuff like that. And she becomes a Mortarch of Grief. She is the Veiled Lady. She's pretty cool. I've got a model of her already. There should be a video on me painting her at some point in the near future once I'm actually happy with the finish. But she has this cool little crown. She has thorns normally. I haven't put them on the model that I've done now, so I've done it slightly differently. And she also comes with two kind of like ethereal handmaidens that follow her along, and she has this really cool staff that she carries, which is her main weapon. And she's a spellcaster as well, which is pretty cool if you want to use her. But she's pretty damn good. She's a pretty nice, quite a nice looking model. Definitely one of the nicest sculpts that they do. Moving on to history of the battles and stuff like that. So you've got fighting Fury with Fury. So at the height of the Realm Gate Wars, the Celestial Vindicators assault of the Eldritch Fortress in the ruins of a shattered city of Alexia. So this is a story just about going through the battle of the Celestial Vindicators fighting the host of Tzeentch. So Tzeentch are things like your Changelings, Zangors, blue horrors and stuff like that as well, and pink horrors as well. Kind of units that you can go up against them. So definitely cool. So this is all set before, of course, the Soul Wars and the rise of Nagash coming back to power and trying to claim souls for his own and everything like that. Pretty cool. Definitely one to look out for. Then on to the next pages, of course, we've got the usual stuff: how to build your castigators and secretors, how to paint them, and it's also going about now to adding on to detail of things using Abaddon Black for things like the leather, which will be things like your leather straps, pockets, the Van braces, which are the armor pieces on the forearms, and stuff like that as well. Entirely up to you if you want to paint them that way. It is your choice, as per usual. Do it how you want to. Then going on to their battle report. So this is just basically teaching you how to play, carry on playing, and adding a few new bits and pieces to it. So this is using Zandria as your bolt against the Briar Queen and her Fawns. Of course, with the Nighthaunt, as per usual, they are flying units. The Briar Queen is a hero, and the Thorns are now all ethereal. The Briar Queen's a wizard, and so is Zandria Azure Bolt. They have a slightly better. So this is a 1 versus 6. Yeah, 1 versus 7. Sorry, we're not going to learn to count. Attack, which is you'd think it's truly outnumbered, but not always, because they might be able to get through it. The Thorns only have 1 wound, so they can be killed off quite easily, really, if you focus fire onto single chain rasps. So yeah, pretty cool. It just goes through everything. So there's a few more things, including range for things like missiles, and for things like your spells. So spells have an actual range that they can kind of shoot, essentially. Which brings us on to why you get this. So you've got wound counters to cut out and range finders, essentially, on that side of the page. These are going to be very, very handy. Cut them out, stick them onto card to make them a lot easier and a lot more robust. Use a bit of thick card, I would, if I was going to cut them out, and I might do at some point. You never know. But yeah, definitely worth having in your toolbox, especially if you're going to be playing the game and stuff like that. So cool. It's not bad at all. Then moving on to looking into next week. So next week is issue 17, or it should be next week if I remember rightly. We're going to get five of the Dread Scythe Harridans. We get the other 5 from the box of them that normally come along, because they come in boxes of 10 in a few weeks' time. Definitely worth having. Cool new Nighthaunt units that I'm looking forward to getting to. So yeah, should be good fun. Definitely cool to paint up, a bit different. I've never had these before, so yeah, that'll be good to do. And then the week after, in week 18, we get a large battle mat. So we'll have a new large battle mat, something different for us to have, and some new paints. So you're getting Lead Belcher and Dryad Bark. Definitely paints worth having, especially for painting leather with Dryad Bark and darker metals with Lead Belcher as well. And that's it for this week. So another issue that's pretty decent. It's building up, it's ramping up, and we will get to really cool models in the near future as well. So there's definitely some cool stuff coming up. But yeah, that's it pretty much. Right, as per usual though guys, if you're looking to buy paint supplies, brushes, tools, basing supplies, or even some more models, I have a couple of affiliate links at the bottom in the description down below. One for Goblin Games, who are really good, and I order from them quite regularly, and the other for Element Games. It's up to you who you want to choose from. Element Games ship worldwide. Goblin Games I believe do, but I might be wrong, so if you're not in the UK you can order from either one of them two, get it sent out to you. They're both up and running at the moment, and they will continue to be, as far as I know, for the imminent future, and they are really good. If you sign up as well and you order, they both have loyalty schemes, so it's definitely worth ordering from them. If you use my link down below, it does earn me a little bit. It's entirely up to you. I'm not saying you have to or anything like that. It's entirely up to you if you wish to, but you can get hold of new paints, which is the main thing. So main things that you're going to want is spray paint. So if you want to use their spray paints, in all honesty I don't. I'll admit I buy cheap primer from B&M or Wilco. You can get a grey primer. It's about £5 from Wilco. It's really good. It's just made for hobbycraft and stuff like that. And I get white primer for Nighthaunt. Definitely worth having. While the nice weather's here as well, it is the best time to spray paint. If you're spray painting in winter, it is going to be horrible, and it will never dry properly, and it will go very claggy and very horrible. If you are spraying in the heat though, you need it to be ideally room temperature type of heat, so you'll need to do it either in the evening or in first thing in the morning, because otherwise the paint will dry as it hits them before it hits the model a little bit, so it'll go a bit bobbly and a bit horrible. Anyway, we'll try to have a video at some point about explaining spray paints a little bit better in the future, and the best ideal temperatures and stuff like that, maybe, who knows. Anyway, as always guys, if you've liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. I will get back to everybody as soon as I possibly can, and thank you very much for watching if you've made it this far. Thank you very much. I will catch you next time. Bye bye now.